Everyone, you know I never make videos like this, but it's over. It's finally over. The very climax of Nisekoi has just come to fruition. And what happened? What do we get? Of course, this is an extreme way deep into the manga spoilers for the series. So please, if you haven't caught up or have only watched the anime series, please, oh please, don't continue this video. Okay, so what happens? He opens the locket, finds out it's actually Kosaki, whom he made the promise to when they were kids. However, he knows he loves Chitoge at some point after realizing his feelings had become different than what they used to be. Before I go any further, one thing I never got is why people online call Kosaki by her last name and Chitoge by her first name. Anyways, for simplicity's sake, I'll be calling them what everybody knows them as, Chitoge and Onodera. From the start, it was obvious that it would come down between these two. I mean, let's be real here. It was very unlikely that the other girls, Tsugumi, Marika, or even Onodera's sister, had a chance. Sure, they each had their moments with Raku, each of which were sweet, pure, and pleasant. Their own individual encounters with Raku were unique in their own way and had their own charm. However, there is no denying that in the larger scope of things, it was inevitable that the final decision Raku would make would be between Chitoge and Onodera, and this was what these final chapters were all about. This is presented with the opening of the locket that everyone has been curious to know who Raku's childhood love was, and finally we get our answer. A piece of paper with Raku and the girl's name. To see one relationship take off and another to never start, it is certainly a bittersweet feeling. But for me, regardless of who ended up with who, I know I would still be happy for it knowing that Raku and Chitoge ended it on a high note. Now, let's get on to the sensitive topic, which already started when you clicked on this video, but I'm going straight into it. Raku and Chitoge versus Raku and Onodera. Clearly, as far as the Western audiences go, there has always been a side, or rather a line split between the Nisekoi audience of who should rightfully end up with Raku. I'm going to be blunt. I've always had a preference for Chitoge to get together with Raku as the final pairing. Reason being, they just seem so compatible together. Of course you can say the same thing about Onodera, but let me clarify. Their backgrounds are very much similar in that they are both from a gang, mafia, yakuza type family with their parents being the leaders. Due to that similarity, they can associate with one another easily. In addition, although the charade they put up was supposed to be an act, it opened up a continuous chain of events that got them closer and closer in a very short amount of time they spent together, while Onodera was for the most part stagnant in her progress, even though her feelings wasn't one-sided. In fact, I would say their relationship progressed because of Raku and Chitoge meeting each other, as it allowed for Onodera to spend more time with Raku. Onodera and Raku's relationship was appealing in itself, as well as for their relationship and love for each other was a pure one that sprouted from a mutual crush with one another that went further from junior high even since their childhood. Although the relationship between the two is a genuinely pure and beautiful one, it leans towards one that of a platonic love. To put it simply, they love each other, but not really, if that makes sense in any way. By comparison, Chitoge and Raku's relationship, although not as pure, is stronger in connection. Although at first they had differing views, they understood each other well, and even more so as the story progresses. They appreciate and accept each other for both rights and faults, and because of that, they are able to show each other much more of the world that they themselves had not seen without one another. From chapters 225 to 227, it was back-to-back climax after climax. Even though you see it coming, it just kept getting higher and higher no matter what. It was almost unbearable. Raku finds out who the girl he made the promise with so long ago, yet tries really hard not to regret his decisions, and that him loving Chitoge over Onodera was the right thing to do. It was so suspenseful really. After rejecting Onodera, he met with Chitoge by the cliffside to tell her that he chose her, and the whole time she had her back turned, which made it even more dramatic. Also, it was a huge cliche that she said all the bad things about herself to reassure Raku that he is choosing a really terrible person to be the one he loves, when really though, she's not really that kind of person at all, saying stuff like she might not be good enough for him. And I just love that. And the final scene when they embrace each other just sealed their newfound relationship. What started out as being fake turned out to be something real after all. There is no doubt, however, that this is definitely the climax of the entire story. This was revealed in chapter 229, the second to last chapter that enters a time skip after they graduate and have grown up to become adults. Many of the characters have obviously matured and moved on with their lives while still maintaining some form of connection with each other. I won't go into specifics in case you want to read it yourself, but I just wanted to say this is major spoilers, and you should still turn back now while you have the chance. Anyways, it starts out with Raku, now in a position with a lot of responsibility and obligations, sending out an invitation for a ceremony of some sort to all his friends. Oh my god, what kind of ceremony do you think it is? Of course you know what it's for. It's for their wedding. Wow, I did not think they would get this far. Honestly, I thought they would slow it down and at least show them dating for a bit, but wow, they just jumped right into it just like that. They meet back at the same spot or a similar spot where they confess to each other after many months. And Raku proposes to her, and it seemed like they were both expecting it as though it were planned. And the chapter ends finally with the kiss that everyone thought was never going to happen. So what about the anime? Well, the beginning of Season 2 corresponds with around chapter 50 of the manga and ends near chapter 106. Season 2 was 1 core, so they should have at least 2 cores of new anime. So either 1 2-core anime series for Season 3 or 2 1-core anime series. They might even need to rush it or have 1 more core for a total of 3 cores if they want to catch up to the manga. These last chapters have been a hurricane of emotions and dramatic tension, a lot of inner feelings revealed along with serious decision making that could change the very course of their youthful lives from that point on. We've waited for 5 years for this, and now it's finally over. It's been tedious, it's been suspenseful, it's been emotional, it's been heart-wrenching, it's been fun, but most obviously, it's been long, like really long. I don't know what kind of sadist would write a story that takes over 200 chapters for a confession, but if you think about it, it makes the resulting relationship that much more valuable, and in a way you start to get attached to these characters you've been following for as long as you can remember. To see them mature and change from when you first met them, it's difficult to see such a pivotal moment in their lives. And I'm sure if you followed them up to now, it will stay in your memory that much longer than that of a typical false love story. Thanks for watching, everyone. This video is more of a test of anything to see if I should keep doing these type of videos. Let me know what you think. Depending on how well this goes, maybe I'll do more. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.